Hi everyone, welcome back to Rachel and Bella Crafts. Rachel here. Hope you're all well. So I am back now for us to move on to the next part of our May mini challenges. If you have been following along on our Facebook group, Junk Journal Trading Post, you will know that we have been making masterboards all week. So what are masterboards? Well, these are masterboards. A masterboard is basically a sheet of collage, and we're going to do something with it. So I'm going to explain to you in a moment what I'm going to be doing today, but just for you to kind of catch up if you've not been following along. So basically we have a Facebook group called Junk Journal Trading Post. In the Facebook group we've had some events put up. Last week I think I put them up. They are the challenges for May. So we've got one challenge which is using the Nana's Roses kit, and then the other mini challenge that we ran last week was to make a masterboard with the freebie that I put up from the Nana's Roses kit. Now the freebie is in the event in the Facebook group, so if you are a bit behind, there's still time to go and catch up. You know, this is not a case of didn't do it last week, can't carry on, not at all. The more the merrier. It doesn't matter at what point you want to join in, and basically in order to be part of the challenge you literally just have to post photographs of what you've been making. So it's been collage mad. It's been amazing. There's been so many different types and styles of collages and masterboards. It's been absolutely brilliant, so thank you to all of you that have taken part so far. So now a little bit about what we're going to be doing moving forward. Well, you will see now today 2 videos. There should be one on my channel and there should be one then on Rose O'Keefe's channel, which is Junk Journals in Time. And she is going to be giving you one idea of what you can do with your masterboards, and I'm going to be giving you another idea. And this week we will have 2 mini challenges going on. So if you go into our events, there should be 2 mini challenges now on the event pages. And again, we will be working from the masterboard that you have created last week. If you haven't done it yet, or you want to do some more, crack on, it's brilliant. And make sure you put your pictures on before you cut them up, okay? So that you can see what they were like afterwards. Right, so without further ado, I'm going to explain to you now what I'm going to be doing today. So yes, we all know there are loads and loads of different ideas and millions of things, well not millions, but loads of different things that we can be doing with our masterboards. So today I'm going to take one idea, because we are going to be working on these for the month of May. May's Marvellous Masterboards, I was thinking we could call it. But yeah, so you know me, I like alliteration. So what I'm going to do with you today is to show you how to make some amazing journal cards out of our masterboards. Now this is a very, very simple process. You know, it's not complicated cutting into a piece of paper or card or what have you, okay? But what can be complex is when you are looking at it like this. So we're going to challenge ourselves now to turn our masterboards over, and then we are going to use either one size or another. Now I've got 2 sizes of card here just to kind of show you what really are kind of standard journal card sizes, but obviously depending on what you work with and the size of journals that you make, you may have a different size. So where's my ruler, just so you can see I'm not just plucking numbers out of the air. So this one here that I have is 4.5 inches by 3 3/4. No, it's not. That's just under 3.5 inches by 4.5. Okay, so that's one size journal card that you would use. Probably a good size for maybe a traveler's notebook size, or if you just don't want a big journal card. Then the other size, and that's the size I'm going to be working today, is 6 by 4. We would call that here. Now this card I've got in my hand here is just a smidgen over that, but it will suffice. It'll do quite nicely for what I want it to do. So you can either do the smaller size or you can do the bigger size. It all depends on how big your masterboards are. Now for my masterboards I used some 12 by 12 cardstock, but I didn't need. It was just an ideal shape, and I now know that my 4 by 6, I should get 6 journal cards out of each sheet. So I'm going to work on 2, and then I'm going to show you then what I'm going to do with them and how we can make them even more amazing. Now the only thing that you want to think about before you do start cutting into your masterboards is if you have any people on them. Now I did have 2 that didn't have people on them, but I've purposely picked the 2 with people on to show you things that you may want to consider. Now obviously I'm going to turn these over in a minute to cut them, just because it's better that way, trust me. Otherwise you'll be there all day thinking, oh, shall I have that bit there, shall I have that bit there? No, just turn it over and don't look at it. But what I just want you to think about is, obviously if I use my journal cards this way, that would really fit better here, because obviously I'm not going to then be cutting off you know, heads, arms, that kind of thing, because last thing we want now is lingering limbs. But I really wanted them to go that way, so I might just have to have a quick kind of thought process along that. So again, as you can see, if I put that one there, that'll go quite nicely over the picture of that girl there, and if I come further down I should capture that as well. But yeah, it's just kind of thinking about those things. So depending on if you've got anything directional on there, whether or not you go that way or whether or not you go that way. So I think I'm pretty settled on the best option for me is probably going to be to put my card upright like that, because then I can pop it into a pocket like that. Now let's turn them over. Okay, so what I'm going to simply do is mark out where I'm going to cut, and then I'm going to cut with my cutting board. So let me just grab a pencil and let's see how we get on. Right, so you can either draw around a card, or if you really want to make it really simple, or just want to be, you know, geometrical, is that the word I'm looking for? Basically make sure that it's all right. You can just simply mark your board with a pencil and a ruler. So 4, 8, 12, there we go. I know that that's right there. And again down here, make sure we're straight. That's the one good thing actually about doing it on a grid card, because I can see now that I'm on the right line. So just straighten that up on there. And again, 4, 8. There we go. And then this way, we're going to do the same. So, except this time I want to be measuring 6. And hopefully that will be the same all the way across. Ooh, it's hard when you've made your lovely masterboards, especially when they're really lovely, because I've been looking at mine all week thinking, oh, I'm so pleased with them. Do you know what, these cards are not actually dead on 12 inches. Oops, sorry, bang bang. Right, let me just do this one now. So again, I'm going to go across. Oop, let's help if I have my ruler up the right way. Right, where are we? Just make sure I'm on the right line. So 4, 8. I'm going to bring it down here, just so I know I'm cutting. Now obviously if you've got a cut-in thing that, you know, paper cut, I can the word then, cutting thing. If you've got a paper slicer that has this measurements on it, great, cut away. But mine doesn't go right the way across because I don't ever open it up. So I'm just going to put my marks in like this, and then I know what I'm doing. Okie dokie. Right. Okay. Oh, I'm nervous. I'm nervous. I hope this works out all right now. Right. Okie dokie. So let's do the halfway one across first. And I've got that in line now. I think that's right. Okay, there's that one. And let's just go across here. I hope it's the right way up now. Yeah. Just check now. Make sure you're cutting the right way. Yeah, that's alright. I thought I cut that the wrong way for a minute then. Right, and then across the middle of here. There we go. Right. Now, see where I put those little marks? I'm going to cut along those now. So again, no peeking. Just hope now and pray that we don't cut through any heads and arms. I think we should be alright. big nerves. This is the risk you take putting people on them sometimes, but well, it's all a bit of fun, isn't it? So the worst is going to happen. And chop someone's head off. I'll just have to put something over the top of it, won't I? Okay. That's that one there. Probably a bit of lace going on there then. Actually, this paper cut is doing really well considering what I've got sewn on here. Huh? There we go. That's those 6. Ooh, we'll have a look in a minute. Right, and then I think it's far more fun if you turn it upside down. I think we just think about it too much otherwise. You just never get around to cutting anything. Whereas this way around, I'm just looking at a grid thing, aren't I? And it doesn't really matter, so that's fine. So there's that one there. That one there. Okay. Sorry about that. We are done with the cutting machine. Okay. Moment of truth. Are you as nervous as me? Right, let me just move you a smidge that way. There we go. Right, let's lay these out then. Let's see what we've done. Okay, so this one's quite nice, isn't it? Got a little bit of lace and some of the stitching on there. Got a lovely butterfly. Let's pop that one up there. Oh, there we go. They're all intact. No heads or arms chopped off. Wonderful. Let's pop that one there. Oh, there she is. Haha, excellent. Everybody's intact. Good. There we go. It's our lovely heart. We managed to salvage that. I like that little bit of, oh, I like that bit of lace there. That's nice, isn't it? There we are. That's okay. And then we've got this one here again with that nice bit of lace. Gosh, we did well to not chop through those stamps. And yeah, I've got lots of different bits at the top there. That's really interesting. Oh, I like this one. Golly, that's really lovely. Yeah, very good. Happy with those. Oh, and that one. I think that's upside down. I think that's meant to be that way. This looks fab, that does, with that lace on it, doesn't it? Right, okay. Oh, there she is. The other little girl. We didn't chop her head off either. Good. Much relief. Oh, this is a nice one. Got all the blues in that one. It's funny how when you cut them down to size even smaller, it becomes more kind of, you know, obvious the things that are on there then. Oh, this is a nice one. There's lots of pink on that one. That looks great. Yep, very good. And this one, there we are. Another person intact. Bits of lace, bits of fabric, very nice. And then last but not least, we've got this one here. Okay, so I hear you say now, right, what's next then, Rach? Well, now what we're going to do, I am sorry, I don't know why I got a dark spot on my desk there. Now what we're going to do is we are going to zhuzh them up, because although they look great, they are just bits of collage card, aren't they? So we need to really kind of finish these off now and make them look amazing. So I'm going to try a few different things out now. So you'll have to bear with me because it's going to mean me switching back and forth with mediums and things. So although we've already put lots of different mediums onto these cards, they're by no means finished yet. So I'm going to try adding a few extra bits, and then you can see by me trying it out on my lovely cards which looks you like best, and you can try them out on yours. Okay, so I'm just going to shift these off and we'll make a start. Right, okay, so for the first one, what I'm going to do, first I'm going to start off by seeing if I can cut these, take these corners down, because I do like my journal cards to have a nice rounded corner. So just see if we can do that successfully, especially with this one because there's fabric on this. So we'll give it a go. I'm not sure if it'll work, but no, it doesn't seem to want to go in there. I have to cut that bit by hand. Rather than just forcing it. Just try and get that rounded shape in there. Not sure how successful that's been, but that'll do for a second. That needs to be just restuck. And you may find that you do have to go back over some of your edges where you've cut, especially if you had like overlaying fabric or stitching maybe. Perhaps you've cut through the threads. So just double check all of that's really secure on your edges. Now what I'm going to try and do with these ones is very quickly do a little bit of texture paste on there with a stencil. Just neatening up that edge there before I start. Because if you're going to do any tidying up, you want to do it before you put anything on there really. Equally the same with if you're going to ink, you might want to do that at this point, which I think I might very quickly just do. I can see my other ink, doesn't matter, so I'll use this one. Do you know, I still haven't ordered these blinking things going here. I've got a head like a sieve. How long have I been on about that now? I go onto Amazon and I just get thoroughly distracted and then realise that I've forgotten why I'm on there and end up coming away with nothing. Hopeless, honestly. I open my laptop these days and I'm like, why am I on here again? They say that's the sign of somebody who's too much thing to do, don't they? Right, okay. So this is the inked up look. I'm still not totally sold on the ink, if I'm honest, but for this it'll do. That's fine. So that's everything ready on there now. Right, so I'm going to grab out a little bit of my ready-made texture paste, and I've now found my other errant scraping tools that I couldn't find the other day. They were actually in my mixed media drawer. Silly me, didn't even think to look there, did I? I didn't think I was being that organised, I'll be honest. But there we are, that'll teach me. Should have more faith in myself, I suppose. Right, so I'm going to try it with a little bit of blue. And I wanted to try it with a bit of pink, but sadly I can't find my pink. So I'm going to add a little bit of blue to it. Now, she says she's organised. Don't sound very organised, do I? No. Right, so let's have a little bit of, because I don't think you need a lot. Give it a little mix. Now, like I say, it would have been quite nice with pink texture piece over the top, but it doesn't really matter. We've got blue in the pattern as well, so that's fine. It'll just bring up the blue. Oh, that's nice. It's a nice, we call that baby powder blue over here. I don't know why, because we don't put blue powder on our babies. I don't know why it's called that. I think it's more to do with the fact of the colouring of the clothes that perhaps they used to be put in. Now I'm going to try this one, I think, because I think that might go quite nicely on there. So crossing our fingers, because I really don't want to wreck my lovely journaling card. But at the same time, we mustn't be afraid to try new things, must we? I'm just beating with a bit of washi tape. No, I don't think I will. Right, oh, I got blooming paint on my finger now. Here we go. The minute the mixed media comes out, I'm in a mess. Nothing new there then, eh? Say nothing new there. Right, let's just see now. The one thing I have learned though about this texture paste is if you make a mistake, as long as you're really quick, you can actually wipe it back off, whatever it is you're putting it on, and just start again. But you've got to be fast, because once it's on for a minute or two, it does start to kind of take shape then. There we go. I think that's pretty smooth across there. I think we've got everything there now. Oh no, a bit more there. There we go. Right, let's see if that's worked now. I don't know how the heck that got on me there. Bear with. Okay. Oh, look, I got that all on my nail now. Right, let's try and get that off there now. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, nervous. Oh, actually that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. I can pop that on there mix. It's a bit messy, and I'm just going to grab my wet wipe. Let's see what I was saying there about if you get it on the edge, if you're quick, you should be able to scrape it off. But you've got to be quick. Probably be better with a dry tissue now I think about it. But there we go, in for a penny, eh? Go. It's fine because I adding a bit of a stitch through that after anyway. So there we go. That's actually come out quite well. So we'll let that dry now. Let's put that over there a minute. I think I must have a cut on my finger or something, because that stung. Right, okay, what should we do with this one? I'm thinking actually we might put some butterflies on this one. So, I've got these really cute little butterflies, so I'm just hopeful now that these will work. Or maybe not actually. Perhaps we'll go with this little flower on here. I quite like these flowers. I like that one there. Maybe we'll put one down in the centre here. Because we're not going to go mad, have we? It's only meant to just be a little bit of something extra, just to zhuzh it up, so to speak. I got just enough left, I think. Okay, all right. What am I looking for? A bit of scrap paper, that'll do. Just don't want to get it on there. Okay, moment of truth. Okay, let's take it away. Ooh, look at that one. Now that does look really cool. I like that. Just get that bit off there. There we go. Excellent. Really pleased with that. Yes. Right, now I do want to add a little bit of the distress sprays to these. I would really like to spray the red on there, but I'm afraid, so I'm not going to use the red. I know I sound like such a wimp, don't I? I just don't want to spoil these. I'll tell you something I am wondering. I noticed that these are starting to sweat under my lamp, and I'm starting to think that maybe, just maybe, they should be kept in the drawer out of the light. Because I think the heat is making them, what's the word? It's causing condensation like in the lid, which I've never noticed before. For some reason, since I've had them under my lamp on my desk. So I might move them back to the drawer. But yeah, I'm going to put some of the bronze on. Is that the bronzed one? Antique bronze. Just a little bit, because I just like the colour. So I'm just using that in my bin a second, because it makes such a mess. There we go. Right, so that's that one. And then this one. It doesn't look much at the minute because it's wet, but when it's dried, I think it'll look amazing. Okay, so I'm just going to go and put those over there to dry, and then we'll get on with the next thing. Okay, so for the next one, I'm going to try and use some emboss pens. Now, these pens I had in the box, the unboxing I did from Stationery Pal a couple of weeks ago. It's the first chance really that I've had to try them out. There's 3 pens in there, and the idea is they're like an embossing pad, but instead it's a pen. So you can do lots of different things with them. So like I say, I haven't had a chance to try them out yet. I wouldn't want to do anything freehand with them because, well, quite frankly, my handwriting is terrible. But I am thinking we could use the brush one, because you've got calligraphy, scroll brush, and then writer. And I'm thinking maybe, just maybe, we could use the brush end with a stencil, excuse me, and then pop some embossing powder on there, and we'll see how it comes out. So I've got this stencil here. It's meant to be like a scroll edge, but there is actually a little heart shape in the middle of it. So I'm going to just try and draw around that a minute, and then we'll see if this works. Now, I've not ever done anything like this before, so we will test these out now and we'll see what we think. Oh, it's making my eyes go funny following that line then. Good golly. Now, this is either going to go really, really well and look really, really cool, or it's all going to go completely wrong and not going to work out. But there's only one way for us to find out, isn't there? That's to give it a try. There we go. Right, so that's all I want to emboss. Let's quickly get that out of the way because I don't know how long I've got until it dries. So I'm thinking we try this one. Ooh, just hope this works now. Oh, it does. Look at that. Wow. Hey, that's good, isn't it? My gosh, imagine the possibilities of that now. Right, let me just get the excess off there. Because obviously once I dry it, that's it, it's there forever, isn't it? Oh, I've got a little brush here. I'll just get in there and get any excess dust off. There we go. Right, pop that in there a second before I put the dryer on and send it everywhere. I'm sure some of us have done that many a time in our excitement to see the finished product. Right, lid on. I do not want that blowing everywhere. Right, let's give this a go, shall we? See what it looks like. There we go. I made my card bend a little bit. That's all right. It'll soon cool down and flatten it. But I'm really pleased with that. I hope you can see that on there, because it's quite faint because my glitters are not very bright. But I don't know if you can just see that there shimmering in the light. But I'm super impressed with that. Right, okay, so that's that one. Let's try one more, shall we? I was going to try one actually with put that there to cool down a minute. I was going to try one with some numbers. I don't know why specifically numbers, but I just thought, you know, something a bit different, isn't it? What numbers shall I put on there? Oh, golly. Right, well, let's just put 34. Don't ask me why 34, but it just seems like a good number. So around we go. Just make sure I colour in all the corners equally. There we go. Right, lid on, because I don't want embossing dust all over that. Oh, perhaps we'll use the gold one this time. Do you like that pink on there though? I think that looked amazing. Waste not, want not, my granny used to say. Right, let's just see if there's anything I need to brush off. No, actually, I think that's done a pretty tidy job on there. Okay, let's emboss. Brilliant, look at that. My goodness, that's really cool. Oh, there we are, guys. So I can highly recommend those pens. Imagine all the things that you can do freehand and stuff with that. That's brilliant. Right, okay, embossing bits away. I will be straight back. Now, I think to finish these ones off, I'm going to use some of this metallic gilding polish, just to kind of go around the edges of these ones, because I think that will look quite cool with the embossing on. So Now I know for most of you, yesterday it was Mother's Day, wasn't it? So I hope you all had a lovely Mother's Day. It only occurred to me last night, I was sat watching TV, that I think in Britain we are probably like the only people, I think, that have Mother's Day when we have it, and everybody else seems to have it on a different day. Or rather, everybody else seems to have it on the same day except for us. I don't know. I find it very confusing, the things that we do sometimes. But I hope you all had a lovely day. There we go. Right, so that's my journal cards, gilded with gold, and got a little bit of embossing on there. So that's our second bit of media that we've added. Let's pop those over there to dry. I'm just going to go and wash my fingers. Okay, so the next journal card decoration we're going to do has been inspired by some stuff Bella has been doing on her channel last week, and with slow stitching. So what I've actually done is I've threaded my needle, double thread, and I've actually taken my needle, I don't know if you can see, but I've just popped my needle through each of the holes here in this lace that I've got on the top. So I've just made a little hole in my needle, and what I'm actually going to do now is thread through some of these little beads and sequins that I've got here, just to kind of add well, just a little bit of colour to the card. I haven't actually tried this before. It was just an idea that I came up with earlier on. I thought, oh, I'm going to give that a go. So I just hope now that these beads will fit onto my needle. Okay, so my little treasure chest of beads and bits is now out. I've had a little test run to see what will fit and what won't. And thankfully, phew, these ones do. So I'm just going to really quickly now try and thread some of these lovely little beads onto my journal card. Oh, I don't know, I think that looks alright actually. A bit different. I've not done this before. I think that's quite a nice look. It's like almost like putting jewellery on there really, isn't it? But yeah, no, I like that. Right, okay, let's just find a way to quickly tie this up on the... Right, this one, I'm going to do this one slightly differently. So I'm just going to... Okay, right, so that is our third option, is to stitch on our beads. Now I'm going to go and stitch around these cards shortly. I want to add some different stitches around the edge. I will do that off camera because it's going to be incredibly disruptive. But before I do that, there was one or two other things I wanted to try while I still have my needle out. So let's have a quick look. What cards have we got left? I think that would be a good one to do it on. And I might be able to do it on that one there. So let's put a new knot on. Right, let's put that chest away, because now I want to give my buttons a quick go, because I think they would look rather marvellous on my journal cards. So again, obviously we talked about all the other things that we could put on our journal, you know, our Masterboards back last week when we did our what can you put on your Masterboards session. But obviously this one is more tailored to specifically your journaling cards, because if you were to do something else with your journaling, with your masterboards, obviously you might want to decorate them in a slightly different way. But the tips in this video are transferable to different styles of ephemera. So whilst we talked about doing things like you know, adding lace, adding fabric, all that kind of thing to your masterboards, equally those ideas will work just as well on your journaling cards, but they're just not relevant this time because I've already added those medias to my journaling cards when they were still masterboards. I'm eating a piece of my hair now, yuck, get out of the way. Oh, this is, I really need to get my other glasses on. Why am I? Oh, look, they're right this side of me. How ridiculous, Rachel. So you complain that I can't see. Right. Oh gosh, that's better. My goodness. It's much better. Right, there we go. So we got that one there. Just gonna make a little hole here. Oops. It's actually easier when you make your guide holes first hand, rather than struggling to get through the card. It can be quite tricky, can't it, sewing through card. And we all saw what Bella did last week. Oh my goodness, that went through me. Did it go through you? Oh, I was cringing. Oh, it's so painful. I could see it. I was watching for the first couple of minutes beforehand, and I just thought she's going to end up sticking out in her finger in a minute. She's not careful, and she did. My gosh, mother, you need to be more careful, says she now. Right, concentrate, Rachel. So yeah, I was saying earlier, sorry, we went to watch the new Marvel film the other day. The new Doctor Strange was out, so that was rather good. A little unusual maybe for a Marvel film. It was a bit darker than they normally are, but all the same, very good. And as always, they leave you with those teaser at the end, don't they? The extra scenes. Because when we were first going and watching Marvel films in the cinema, my other half and I, we missed a couple of those extra scenes because we got them left. And then my middle son then was like, oh, did you see the last bit of the end? I was like, no, what last bit? He was like, you do stay and watch the bit at the end, do you? I'm like, no. And then I remember us staying and watching the one, and then it taken ages to realise that actually at the end of every Marvel film there's 2 extra scenes at the end at the cinema. So the credits go up twice, and then there are 2 little additional scenes. Sorry about that, just moving my camera. My phone just decided to tell me that my battery is going low, so I need to stitch fast now. There we go. Yeah, so we didn't realise that they had these extra scenes at the end of the Marvel film. So when this film finished the other day, my son had been to see it the day before, so I quickly texted him. I was like, oh, are there extra scenes in this film? Yes, Mum. He said, stay in your seat, don't go anywhere. And he said, pay particular attention to the last one because it's really important. So we sat there for 2.5 minutes watching the credits roll up. And I mean, my gosh, imagine how long the credits are in a film like a Marvel film, can't you? All the people involved in making these films. And then the first scene was, you know, very good. She was like, oh, right, okay, so I wonder what'll happen next time. And then the last scene came up then, and I mean, I talk about a waste of time. So I was not impressed. I texted my son, like, what are you on about? So he just lolled at me then. So yeah, right, okay. Ooh, they look pretty, don't they? There we go. Very nice. Just added a little bit of bling to our card there. Now, of course, the only thing is, when you are stitching on these journal cards, it can get a bit messy on the back then. So if you do want to write on these cards, you may find that you want to add some paper over the top. I mean, you might want to just leave it as it is, looking au naturel. But then again, you might not want to. So there we are, that's that one there done. I like that very much. And then I'm just going to quickly knot this, and then I'm going to add, I think we'll put 2 white ones then on this one here, maybe on that bit of lace there, just to mix it up a bit. So I'll put 2 holes there, 1. My finger's going to take so much stitching. They give up then. There we go. Right. So that's 1 hole. I went very straight holes there, but never mind. Never mind. It reminds me of my youngest. He used to, he went through this stage when he was about 7 or 8, where he would be saying something to us and we'd all be like, don't really understand what you mean, Dan. Or, you know, like, what, you know, don't quite, you know, can you explain yourself a bit better? I'm not really sure what you're talking about. And he used to go, never mind. As if to say, what is the point of me trying to explain myself to you all? You're not going to understand me anyway, so I'm not going to waste my energy. And now he's 12 and as bright as Einstein, and I understand now why he used to get frustrated with us. It wasn't that he wasn't explaining himself very well, it was just we weren't quite as smart as he is. So there we are. Never mind. I do actually think my mother says that as well. She's probably where he got it from. There we go. Golly. I don't know how Mum does this for hours and hours on end with her fingers. Oops. Oh, it's making the end of mine ache. It's fiddly. Right. Okay. Oop. There we go. There we go then. So that is another option. Add in some lovely buttons to decorate our journal cards. So we've got beads, we've got buttons, we've done embossing, and we've done texture paste, stenciling. So that's 4 alternate medias for you to use on your journal cards. So let me just pop my needle up there because I have a terrible habit of losing them. Now, of course, you don't have to hand sew your buttons on. Crikey, you could have just glued them on, but I really like mine to, I like mine to have a bit of thread sometimes, not always, but sometimes I do. Sorry, I didn't mean to bore you to death. Right, so let's have a look at what we've done so far. Move that out of the way, because that was for my, whatever it was I was using earlier. Powder. So we have buttons, we have beads. Oh, they're pretty, aren't they? Pretty. We have embossing and golden gilts thing. We have texture paste with some distress spray, and then last but not least we have 2 here now that I have stitched. So this one here, and I've just gone around it with a very rough straight stitch. That was the stitching that I'd done on my Masterboard previously, but this is the one I've just added in now. So that's a nice straight stitch on there. And then this one I've done like an overlock zigzag. I love this stitch because it just keeps everything in place. I've also stitched around that stamp because I didn't like that one there. So I think that looks brilliant now. Not only that, if you're using coloured stitching, it does then add to the colouring, you know. Obviously adds to the colour, but it brings out, you can use the stitching with different coloured stitching to bring out the colours in your journal card. Another brilliant thing that you can do, of course, is another idea you can use is to make mini ruffles, and you can add them on then. Like I've used bits of fabric here you know, you could quite easily add that on then to your journaling card. So a little bit of fabric there, that will feel quite nice. So I think that's it. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Oh no, it's not. I've lost 2 somewhere. What have I done with them? Could have sworn I had 12. Oh, here they are. I've got them. I've got them. Silly me, they were drying. Sorry, these 2 I did a little bit earlier on. I put some of the Distress inks on those because I didn't really want to add any more onto her. She was quite pretty, and so were they. So I thought, well, they've already got pictures on there, but otherwise I would have added photographs on there maybe. I will now go away and stitch around all of these, but I won't do that on camera, so it's a bit noisy. But yeah, so there's your ideas. Your challenge this week for the Facebook group challenge is to make 6 journal cards, and you need to decorate them with at least 3 different methods. So that's not too difficult, is it? So I want you to go in and have lots and lots of fun. Now obviously you don't have to use the methods I've used, you can use any method you want. You can repeat some of the things we did in the Masterboard challenge, whatever, but you just need to say in your post what 3 different things you've done to decorate your journaling cards. I know now, don't forget as well, Rose will have the other challenge on her YouTube video, so make sure you go and check that out. You can do either or you can do both. It's entirely up to you. That's the great thing about the challenges, they're all voluntary and it is there for us all to have a bit of fun. So I'm going to leave you with that. Have a great day, and I will be back with you later in the week. Take care everybody, see you soon, bye now.